So today we got a little bit of a PvP video for you guys talking about Yesteryear, a brand new pulse rifle in Destiny 2 that you can obtain through the Gambit playlist. Now, unfortunately, you cannot focus this through the Gambit vendor. Have no idea why, but there's that. So when it comes to getting this weapon, obtaining this weapon, you got to say your prayer to RNG Jesus in order to get a roll on this or get it to drop and get a good roll on it. It's a lot of different variables to get this weapon, and trust me guys, there is a lot of perk selections to have. Now, for one guys, let's talk about this weapon in general. Will this be the best PvP weapon? I don't think so, but it has a perk that not many pulse rifles have. And if this perk is on a pulse rifle, you will definitely want to use it in PvP because it is really, honestly, the most powerful perk for a pulse rifle in all of Destiny 2. And that is, if you guys know, Desperado. But we'll get there. There's a lot to go over and a lot to talk about. Now, for one, we're going to talk about all the perks. We'll go over the origin traits. We're not going to talk about the barrels because that is a long list that really, honestly, isn't too important. It's kind of playstyle and kind of just, you know, there are certain barrels that are great for certain weapon archetypes, certain barrels that aren't great for certain weapon archetypes. There's that. But let's jump into all the perks because there is a long list of them. Gun and Run is a basic origin trait. It is the first one in the origin trait column, and it got really buffed this season. It became a little bit more usable in other game modes besides Gambit, and basically they updated it with rapidly defeating targets with this weapon grants bonus sprint speed. This is pretty powerful. Guardians, powerful combatants, and higher value targets grant this bonus quicker. This is a very powerful origin trait. And another thing comes with it, if you guys use it in Gambit, damaging the invader with this weapon marks them for allies. This is also really powerful in the Gambit mode, but again, how many of us really play Gambit like that? Zero Synergy is another great origin trait. This is a little bit more passive in terms of it's kind of easy to use. Reloading grants this weapon bonus handling and reduces incoming flinch for a short time. This ideally, I believe, is around 6 seconds, and it grants 40 handling and 20% flinch resistance for about 66 seconds. So again, it's good, but it cannot be refreshed. I think if you reload again, it should be good, but you just can't. I forget exactly. Now, next to that in column 1, Golden Tricorn, Repulsive Brace, Eye of the Storm, Desperado, Rampage, Pugilist, Over Under, Gunshot Straight, Multi-Kill Clip, Focus Fury, Dragonfly, and Wellspring, it's a lot of perks, are attainable in column 1. For column 2, we have Assemble, Ambitious Assassin, Well-Rounded, Subsistence, Steady Hands, Tunnel Vision, Outlaw, Perpetual Motion, Compulsive Reloader, Slideways, Under Pressure, and Heating Up. And for magazines, we have Extended Mag, Alloy Magazine, Appended Mag, Armor Piercing Rounds, High Caliber Rounds, Ricochet Rounds, Flared Magwell, and Light Mag. And this is an adaptive frame, so keep that in mind. Now, for the God roll you would want, this is what I got dropping. It's kind of crazy I got it to drop. We'll showcase the stats soon after, but we got a Stability Masterwork, which is pretty important for this gun. You'll see why. We got, you know, the origin traits as usual, Desperado, and Well-Rounded, which are really powerful PvP perks. Armor Piercing Rounds, which grants a +5 range. I kind of wish I had Ricochet Rounds, but beggars can't be choosers. And then we have Corkscrew Rifling, which is a well-rounded, good offering barrel. It comes with +5 stability, +5 handling, and +5 range. Arrowhead Break is ideal, but again, beggars can't be choosers. Now, for stats, you'll be seeing how this weapon fares when it comes to the overall stats. And while this isn't a perfect build, we'll showcase what I think will be a perfect roll for it. This is a really powerful option and something I would really encourage people to check out. Now, as you see here for stats, right now the damage fall off is 35.37 ADS meters. This isn't ideal because as a pulse rifle, you want to make sure you can reach the max cap before the game says it doesn't matter, and that is 40 meters ADS is the max damage fall off range. So if you're using this weapon compared to other pulse rifles that do have that 40 meter, you know, difference, you may be losing those gunfights a little bit more often. It also depends if you have Desperado equipped as well as Well-Rounded triggered. Now, for these honest God roll, in my opinion, something that I think will be much better, Ricochet Rounds and Arrowhead Break will offer a little bit better, I guess you could say, recoil control that is kind of essential. You saw in the past one, the recoil, even with counterbalance stock on, was really crazy, and we'll showcase it what it looks like without counterbalance stock. But right now, this, as you see the recoil pattern on Light GG, very vertical, very friendly, really accessible to use. If you guys don't have counterbalance stock on, this does become a little bit better. You can maybe switch off depending on your input and just learn the recoil control. It's not as vertical, it's a little bit to the right, but again, much better than what it was with the previous build. So do keep that in mind that recoil control is pretty substantial. Stability as a masterwork will be ideal, but again, beggars can't be choosers. Now, we'll showcase what it looks like without it, and you guys can see it is not that friendly at all. It's very wild left. So again, keep that in mind. Now, let's compare this to other top tier options in the sandbox. We're going to compare this to the BXR Battler and the Messenger. The reason we're comparing it to the Messenger is it has Desperado as well. So there's a comparison on that. And then when it comes to the BXR Battler, just to showcase that this gun isn't the best in everything, but it is still, it's a good choice, a solid choice for PvP. So as you can tell, for the Messenger, has a little bit more range, has a little bit more impact. The impact isn't too substantial because again, it has Desperado. So Desperado, honestly, that the frame really feels nice. The Messenger, even though it is a high impact, does have more stability, so it does lose on that end. However, for handling, it does have better handling than the Messenger, and aim assistance is actually much higher than the Messenger. Now, compared to the BXR Battler, this is a little bit unfair comparison because I do think the BXR Battler, which is now a craftable weapon, is the god tier standard of usability, accessibility, and just being very easy to use collectively. As you can see, it does fall behind a lot of stats, but the BXR Battler is just good at everything, so it just makes no sense. But yeah. Besides that, when it comes to playstyle, guys, like any other pulse rifle, really maximize lane control, really maximize medium range engagements. However, the most important thing to keep in mind is that when it comes to range with this weapon and damage fall off, you are at a 5-meter deficit for the most part in almost any different role you can get with this weapon. So it does suck on that end, but again, aim assistance is on the good side of things. And yeah, that's pretty much it. It is Desperado. Very solid perk, but I wouldn't say this is going to be a gold standard weapon for PvP. But again, if you guys get good with it, you guys get used to it, I'm sure you guys can make and utilize this efficiently. We will talk about this weapon in PvE eventually. We're still working on getting a better roll. I have assistance to Dragonfly. It actually works pretty well. We'll check it out a little bit more. It is a Void weapon, so we're pairing it with Void 3.0. We'll definitely make a video when I come around to that. So if you guys are new here and want to check out that video, definitely hit the subscribe button and the bell to be notified for when that content drops. But until then, if you guys enjoyed this video, found it informative, or had a good time, definitely drop this video a like. It's greatly appreciated. Helps out the video a lot. But until then, hope you guys have a good one. ShadowNinja here, and I'm out.